Hi, so in this video I'm just going to go over this first set here, the first game from this set. Okay, so let's see what we've got. We've got 7 players. Okay, M, N, O, P, Q, R, and S. Okay, and we have 7 stalls, 1 through 7 left to right. Sorry if there's some noises down there. My bird is hanging out with me. So hopefully it won't be too loud. Okay, so there are exactly 3 stalls between M and Q. Okay, and that doesn't mean that M is definitely before Q. We could also have Q before M. And there are 4 stalls between R and Q. There. Okay, so we're not going to be able to make it work where Q is in the middle of M and R because we don't have enough room in the 7 players. So what I mean by that is we're either dealing with M and R both being before Q or M and R both being after Q. Okay, so I can't have like M before Q and then R after Q because that's more than 7, right? Like that would be like 10? Yeah, 10 spaces. So like that's not going to be allowed. Okay, so that's kind of helpful to know as well. Like we're either dealing with both of these things being true, both of these things being true. And if both of these things are true, that means that R is right here. Okay, so R and M are going to be side by side like that. And over here, that would mean that R is on this side of M, and they would be side by side like that. So we can combine that information to get those 2 different scenarios. And then Q and O can't be in adjacent stalls, so we can't have Q beside O like that, or Q beside O like that. So adjacent is side by side or beside each other, so they can't be in stalls that are beside each other. Okay, so we have a few players here that aren't mentioned, right? So M is mentioned, but N isn't. N is unrestricted. O is mentioned, P isn't. So P is unrestricted. Q and R are both mentioned, but S is not. So we have quite a few wild cards here. So I just noted them by putting a little dot underneath. You can circle them or put a star beside them or something like that. All right. Question number 1. So M can go in each of the following stalls except. Okay, so could M be in stall 2? No problem with that, right? We'd have R, M, blank, 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 Q. M in stall 3, we could have RM here, and then blank, 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 Q. M in stall 4 is going to be a problem though because we have 3 blanks on either side and there's supposed to be 3 blanks between M and Q. So if M is 4th, we'd have blank, 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 oh, no room for Q, and the same on the other side. So M cannot be in stall 4. And if it's in 5, that's kind of the same as it being in 3, except it's like flipped, right? So if M is in 5, then we have blank, 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 and Q would be here. Just like how if M is in 3, then Q is all the way at the other end. If M is in 5, then Q is all the way at the top end, right? At the beginning, the left side. So we can kind of say that like B and D are almost the same answer, and A and E are almost the same answer, just the mirror image based on which one of these 2 scenarios you would go with. So C is correct. C is the one that's not going to be able to work, but A, B, D, and E, those are all possible. Okay, 2. If O is in the 3rd stall, all right, so This is going to impact that rule where O and Q can't be beside each other. So O in third is going to tell me that Q can't be second and Q can't be fourth. Okay, so if Q can't be second, that means M and R can't be last over here, but we could have Q first, right? Then O, and then space, and then MR, or we could have Q last, or yeah, there are quite a few options here. Something else that we would know with O being third is that like M can't be fourth because R would have to be like before M or things like that, right? Where it's going to kind of impact the position of M and R because they have to be next to each other. So this is just one option, but could R be in the second stall? No, because if R is second, then R would definitely be before Q, right? And so R would be before M, and we'd have to do RM like that. So A is not going to work. B, Q is in the last stall. So if O is third and Q is last, then we would have to have M third actually to put Q last, right? Because there would have to be 3 between Q and M, so B isn't going to work either. M is in the 6th stall, so in order for M to be in the 6th stall, we would have to have Q in the 2nd, so that's not going to work because Q and O can't be beside each other. D, Q is in the 1st stall. We have an example of that. We know that that's possible, so that's the answer. And E, R in the last stall. So that's the same as putting M in the 6th stall. It would result in the same problem. So if we put M in the 6th and R in the last, the problem with that is we would end up with Q beside O, and that's not allowed. So we can't do that. So E is also out. So the correct answer there is D.